Dirshu Mishnah Berurah, as we continue Simin Lamed Gimel. Today we're going to be learning and beginning with Sif Beis. Says the Mechaber, picking up from yesterday's discussion, which was the Tfiros, the stitches that are sewing together the bayis in the Titera, the base of the Tefilin. So here the Mechaber teaches us, in Nifsiko Tfiros at Tefilin, if the stitches ripped, Rambam, according to the Rambam, if there are two tfiras, two stitches, one next to another, or three ripped, even one not opposite the other, then it is possible. So according to the Rambam, in order to passel the tefillin, you need to either have two stitches that rip one next to another, or three stitches even not next to another. But continues the Mechaber, the Bamedmar Marmurim, and qualifies that when is this referring to? Be Yeshanim, only old tfiros, old tefillin, Aval B'chadashim, but new ones, Kol Zman, as long as we turn over the paper over here, Sha'ar, Moshev Abatim Kayom, that the hide is still intact, it's going to be kosher. And continues the Mechaber further and explains, Ve'eluim Chadashim. What does it mean, Chadashim? If you hold part of the hide, Shenikra, Tifroi, where the stitch ripped, you pull that part of the hide, V'toilin by Tefillin, and you're able, it's still strong enough to hang from it the Tefillin, V'chazak, and is strong, V'einay nifsek, it doesn't rip, then those Tefillin have the status of Chadashim, of new Tefillin. V'mein royal but let's say they're not strong enough, you're not able to hang the Tefillin by it, Elu nifsak, rather rips, are Eli Yeshanais, that is considered old Tefillin. And concludes the Ramah, Yeshayim, quoting another opinion, the B'chadashim Psulim, or Yeshayim Kesherim, the exact opposite. The Mechaber was telling us that if it's Chadashim, if it's new Tefillin, then it's going to be kosher. Here the Ramah explains, there's another opinion, which is Rashi, Torah, and the Rosh, arguing on the Rambam, that are holding that Chadashim are that which is going to be possible, whereas the old ones will be kosher. And again, similar to yesterday's Sif, today the Ramah ends with and you should be careful with both of the opinions. That is the opinion of the Ramah. So we go to the Mishnah Berurah over here, Sivkatan Yud Beis, in which he quotes Allah Rambam. This first opinion quoted by the Mechaber, the Rambam, in which we're discussing the stitches ripping. Aval Shar Paiskim Pligale. Says the Mishnah Berurah, giving us a bit of background over here. But all the other Paiskim argue on the Rambam. Umei Kilim, and they're lenient. In any case of Shtei Tvirais, even if they're right next door to each other, the other opinions are lenient. When it's three stitches that rip, then machmir and dafilu tikkun b'makayim ha'afsek loy mahani. Then they're stringent, and even fixing it doesn't help. The genayu, why? Because it's a genai, it's disrespectful, it's not good. When you could tell and see the fact that you fix it in three different places, that is a genai, that is disrespectful to the tefillin, and therefore it's always going to be possible. You have to re-sew up the tefillin. Continues the Mishnah Berurah, and this is the din of the Mechaber, that if it rips three tfiros not next door to each other, it's also an issue. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Afilu kol echad b'tzad acher. Even if each one is on a different side of the tefillin, there are four sides, each one with three stitches. So if the three stitches are ripped, even if they're all on different sides, it's still a problem. And we continue the Mishnah Berurah Sivkatan Yudalad, in which he says, the Moshev Abatim, as long as the resting place of the bottom is kayam, is intact, it's going to be kosher. Hayinu Atitera Canal. That is the titayr, the base of tefillin. And over here, the opinion of the Ramah is like we learned to the Ramah. The bottom of the tefillin themselves need to be intact. But the Ramah over here did not explain it. Why? On that which he wrote above. Continues Mishnah Berurah, finishing up the Sif Katan Tezvav Lachosh, which the Ramah said that there's the opinion of Rashi, Torah, and the Rosh is not like the Rambam, and he holds that Chadashim new Tefillin are kosher. And the Ramah said you should be careful for both opinions. Lachosh Ratzalaymar. What does this mean? Lahachmir machmazeh. You should be stringent. Lechatchila b'shteihem. You should be stringent for both opinions. B'makom she'ef shalim say tefillin. Let's say you cannot find tefillin acher many other tefillin. V'lo lachsav letzot tefillin elin. You can't fix them. Then yesh lismarich ala mekilin ikvi semich on the linear opinion b'psikas that fear is when it rips. Bein b'chadashim. Bein b'yesheinais, whether it's new, whether it's old. Bein b'shtei tefillas, bein b'shalosh. Ach b'shalosh. If it's three that are red, yizayir shalavarach aleim don't make a bracha. In ayin bir halacha. Now we're just going to begin Sif Gimel. Says Sif Gimel Haratzu is the height of the strap. Sarach Shem Ar Beima Chaya has to come from the height of a Chaya Va'if Ta'ir Matar animal. Sarach Shem Uba Lishma. When you create it has to be created. The tanning process has to be lishma. Ratzua is bein ba'ar, bein miklav ksherais. It's going to be kosher. And let's see, three Mishnah Berurah is what we call it a day. Says Mishnah Berurah, if the zayin atayrim, the only one which are tar, only ones that are chulshar, they're prepared for melachas shamayim, for tefillin, are the animals which are tar. V'tzarech kolay tzarech liikuvu. Says Mishnah Berurah, when the Machaber says tzarech, then it needs to be ma'obel lishma. The tanning process has to be done with intent. That is ma'akiv, that holds back even b'diavad lishmai. Continues Mishnah Berurah, sivkatin nirchas afil, the Rambam did make a b'batim, as we've seen that the Rambam was leaning with the batim, leaning to be lishma. Convor lao lamed beisav simin lamed beisav zayin moed achi, the Rambam admits over here. V'tam loza ayin b'lavoshim agin avram v'hashchar reckoning of the ritzuos are gad. That also has to be lishma, a very important detail. Unless you did not create the tefillin lishma, the ritzuos doesn't help that lishma. If it wasn't made lishma, it's a problem. Choose Varshmol Simin Zayin Tes Vav Ayin Sham. Choose Bereisik because of the Ashchar Lishma Mahani. That the opposite. He argues what we just said and says this Shuva Bereisik that if you blacken a lishma, it's going to fix it. Vayim choose if Kiveger the Hiskan Ladina Ketvar Shmuel. He's maslik Ketvar Shmuel to be machmir. But here is Al Mekilim Azen. He's not happy with those that are mekel. And this is actually one of the areas which everyone has to be careful when buying the tefillin, is that the Ritzuos back many years ago there were many stores. Baruch Hashem, things have gotten much better. We'll pick it up concluding Sif Gimel in the next year.